Alrighty. Hello there, everybody. Welcome to Sword and Key, where we today are having Fragments of Loss, our Rangers of a Broken World playtest campaign that we have been doing for the past. This is going to be week 8. Uh, I am very delighted to get to be here. My name is Angela Mogrovejo Bosch. As of Friday, my legal name was confirmed by the courthouse, so I now have my spouse's last name attached to mine. So
Hey.
yeah, happy news to start the session off with. Happy trans news, everybody. And as for those in the U.S., happy ending of Pride. And as always, my thing I must note for the end of Pride. Pride continues onward the rest of the year, but we must now move into the other vices. Wrath will soon be upon us. We're getting near the end of it,
Mm,
so we're almost there.
yeah. Let's just year round.
Yes, correct. And for those of us of the ace persuasion, mild aesthetic attraction and or indifference. But getting into it, folks, this is, as I said, our Rangers of a Broken World campaign where we are testing uh, Leon. I am suddenly losing track of, of their of their last name. I
Richardson.
just said Richards. No, it's I have it here, Leon McDonald. But good to know, changes happen. Uh, so with that being the case, we have been having people donate for delightful little benefits for our entire cast, which has been saving them on some occasions. So if you are a kind soul and would like to support our cast in causing mischief and problems for me, which whatever I say is actually one of my favorite things for them to do, feel free to donate to give them things like rerolls, auto crits. Everyone in the party gets auto crits, the chance to just ignore blur being gained entirely, which and use some pretty impressive abilities. We are at $370 raised for Trans Lifeline. We're aiming for 500 by the end of the series, but regardless, we started with a goal of 100 people, and we smashed that shit out of the park. So thank you for all that you're doing, especially with all of the various attacks in the legal and social front against trans folk. It's that much more important to support their well-being, especially along the mental health lines. But speaking of some fantastic trans, queer, and just delightful folk in general, I'm going to let my players introduce themselves. And as always, I am going to go clockwise and start with Gina.
Hi, I'm Gina. I play Adestia, who is a windswept cavalier. We both use she, her pronouns. And then there is my cloud elk, Ransur, who we refer to as he because I can't talk to animals. So
We
we gotta
have
figure
to
this out.
we'll figure this out at some future occasion. But carrying on as the embodiment of delightful cheer and occasionally chaos, Mirm,
Occasionally. You're too
frequently.
modest. Hi, everybody. My name is Mirm. I use she, they pronouns, and today I will be playing our volcanic tracker, Whale, who uses they, them pronouns.
Delightful. And now we move onto the embodiment of just so many neurodivergent moods that you would be surprised that that you identify with her so strongly on every occasion, Amber.
Hi, everybody. My name is Amber, and I use she, they pronouns. And I'm playing Azura, the title navigator, who also uses she, they pronouns.
And of course, the beacon of delightfully charming bastardness and just overall just a wonderful person to have at a table, Sebastian.
Hello, I'm Sebastian. I use they, them pronouns. I'm playing Kildrenith, who is a beckoning infiltrator who also uses they, them pronouns.
Wonderful. Yes, delightful bastardness. You may quote me on that one.
Yeah.
So, folks, we are going to get into a session that is going to be a little bit different. As for those of you who have been keeping track with us, we've decided to move to sort of a bit of a more condensed format for the actual sessions themselves. But that is just to serve the overall personal needs that our cast has with real life coming in the way, and we wanted to be sure we'd still be able to have our whole cast being able to play with us. So, because of that, we're going to jump right into session 8 of War and Empire. So, Sebastian's just like, I don't like this. I don't know if I agree. If someone
I
can
disagree
gif
with both
that,
war and empire.
yes,
So
I know. If someone can please mark and gif that face that Sebastian made in response to me saying that, I will love you so much. But so our group, as a quick sort of recap of how things have been going so far, has been investigating a variety of different sort of mix of ethereal and mechanical automata, sort of animals that have been menacing the overall continent of Amalta. Because of this, they have been looking into the memories of what appear to be some mysterious figure at the heart of this problem, which, after encountering not only a giant land tortoise and then dealing with a tentacle spouting panther-like creature and a land iguana that was threatening to set off multiple dormant volcanoes, with the addition of a small land iguana caused by one of our players, the group encountered the architect of the problems, a what appears to be mechanical automata humanoid by the name of Sarah, who has indicated that pretty much her entire goal is to try and find a figure who the party had gained knowledge of in various sort of passing images and memories, named Celis. It appears as though the automata that they had been facing up to this point are in a kind of psychic construct representing people who Sarah has encountered previously. It is a form of her keeping their memories alive, and her core, her essence, her body seems to be able to hold on to various people's sort of fragmented consciousnesses. The group has had a difficult conversation at first with her. Different decisions were made, and two threats were sent off in varying directions. One towards the, I believe it was the Rose Peak Palace. Yes, Rose Palace Peak. I almost got it right. And another heading off towards the direction of Rimehold. Despite the threat that these creatures have faced, the group did not immediately chase after them, but has decided to, after a bit of rest and recovering from the ordeal of their encounter with the land iguana, to travel with Sarah and make their way towards Rimehold. And that is effectively where we are picking up. It is going to be a few days of travel for the entire party to make it back to Rimehold. You're basically like at the southeast tip of the continent and are having to make your way without it because just the overall distance you need to cover. You're going to need to make your way back to Rimehold, and there will be some difficulties and struggles to likely overcome, but you're all capable and experienced travelers and people who have managed these kinds of threats before. But the threat that you face, that you are walking with right now, is not one that really any of you has ever faced before. And so I am curious to find out what each of your respective thoughts about the situation are, but I don't just want you to tell me what they are right away. I would like everyone to roll me a d6.
A
And tell me
single
what your
D6.
result is.
A 5.
Okay,
4.
5, 4. That's a 1.
I forgot to take dice out.
We are professional. We are prepared.
Excellent start.
There's a 6.
Oh,
No repeated numbers. Fun times.
damn.
Wait, that was a 6?
Yeah, sorry.
You're good, buddy. So it's actually kind of fitting that we're starting with you in that case.
Oh, is that what that was for?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Mm.
Where much of the coastline has been your home ever since you were young. You've traveled, you've lived here, you've experienced island life, you've experienced cuisines, the delights, the struggles of what it has been like to be the kind of person that you are, knowledgeable as you are, as strange as you are. And so you find yourself thinking about all these things as you're passing by, having made it back to the mainland, starting to make your way northward, past jungles, past whole areas overgrown with flora and things that, to anyone not seasoned and not aware of how to handle it, any one of these various plants or even little creatures that wander here would probably get them either hurt or at worse killed. But you are not just any person. You are trained. You know how to handle these places. You've gone into a literal volcano to speak with your deity. And as you're making your way through all of this forest, you find throughout all of this, cutting away some brush, moving carefully past some things that look very clearly poisonous, you see out of the corner of your eye what can best be described as a scaly foot gastropod. Now, if you have no idea what that is, basically imagine it is a deep sea hydrothermal vent. Think of like the kind of spinny sort of corkscrew, not trilobite, but kind of the pattern that a shell makes. And you see that the pattern of this creature has detailings of red crystal embedded all around it. And take note that it has like one or two little feelers on the top of its head. And as the whole party is moving, you're seeing Sarah, like on occasion, just summoning these long tendrils to just push past brush and other things that gets in her way. You see this gastropod sort of gestures towards you.
My first thought is that I have to go over there. I think that it's very deceiving in the most polite and best way possible. So, um, I just tell the group to follow Sarah, and I'll be able to catch up.
Nobody seems to hear you.
Then I go.
The gastropod seems to gesture with its feelers, and then out of nowhere, just in your head, you see, so how's it going?
I don't know. I'm alive. So there's a positive. But I don't have a full idea or background to understand what Sarah is.
If you would like, I could show you what I know. I don't remember very much, or at least today I don't remember very much. I could see if I remember more. That takes effort. But I like you, so I could probably try and do that.
Oh, thank you for liking me. That's nice. Um, well, I
I don't see
know,
why anyone wouldn't like you. Do you have people who don't like you?
aunties talk in the village. It's a thing with the people in my family and stuff. But um
What is it? I'm curious. Tell me.
uh
I haven't talked to you in a while. Tell me these things. And you just
okay.
see the gastropod. Its two feelers. It kind of wraps them on top of one another, like it's someone sitting down. It's just like, come on, I'm your friend. Tell me your things.
Yeah, okay. I, that works for me. Um I'm the oldest of eight. Um, Huge family. That also means that I'm the third parent for my siblings, and I
Hmm.
chose to leave. Um, so a lot of my extended family call me selfish for doing that. And the cat is here.
Hmm. I have to stop summoning this cat friend of mine. It's very sweet, but every time I do it, it doesn't really know how to stop giving me attention.
Yeah,
But also, he is very cute, so I
yeah.
don't know what. I don't feel like I can say no. I don't see why you would say no to a cat.
Mm.
Hmm. Well, why would you be selfish?
Because I am putting myself first.
Why wouldn't you?
And um, because according to them, um, I need to put my family first. And what I do for myself, by myself, for my future, for what I love, for who I love, that needs to come later.
Do they understand that you do this for them?
No.
Hmm.
And that is why I am not upset about it. Um, and it's not something that is at the forefront of my mind because I have other things I need to focus on
But do you think of your family very often?
all the time. I think about all my siblings, um, and hoping that my parents have stepped up. Because it's hard to take care of a lot of kids at once.
Would it be easier if there were less of you?
I do not wish for any less amount of siblings. Um, Objectively speaking, it would be easier with less siblings, but I don't want any less siblings. I love each and every one of my siblings.
Even though they cause you this difficulty and you are left having to deal with expectations that even a reasonable person could not fit or achieve.
Yes. They um accept my love. I accept their love, and it is I can see why you may feel a little confused. Because everything that I'm explaining to you um doesn't make sense in the grand scheme of things. But it is the life that I have. And I only get to go home once well, every once in a while. So I don't have to deal with it very often.
I suppose I have to ask, not because I care very much, but because I am curious. How far would you go to keep them all safe?
Uh, like a parent, like many parents would say about their children, I would risk my life for them.
No matter how dangerous?
No matter how dangerous or painful or heartbreaking or long or torturous. I love all of them.
It is about this time that as you are all traveling through the last bit of the brush, being around Sarah it's not painful, but there is a sense of picking up on just how much emotion is being stored in her body. It is almost like being near her. There are flickers of her memories that just sort of invade what is on your mind. And Wea, I would like to ask you, what is the worst scenario you could imagine hitting your home coast region?
The earth opening, swallowing, and taking all of them away from me forever.
In the midst of your travels, moving through the brush, the forest, and everything, you feel your consciousness move back to your home, to a scene of watching everyone in panic, in chaos. You see various creatures similar to the land tortoise beginning to suck up the ethereal energy of the land, the earth, and the sea. You see things, it's almost like if you've ever seen fungi begin to calcify, that kind of like stuck in place, almost fragmented kind of aesthetic that it has, you're seeing that spread across the entire land, and you're seeing all the boats that people have used for travel and going out for fishing split in half, buried under the sea that is now slowly growing while the land is being split and torn asunder. You see your own home demolished. You see your parents terrified and wondering where all of your kids are, where all their kids are. And in a way, they are also kind of your kids too, based off of what you've said. This is the worst scenario that you can imagine possible for your home. And at the center of it all is Sarah, seemingly summoning these creatures and letting them come back. And Seafing, in the familiar alligator form, though a bit smaller than they previously were, is just right there with you. And asks you again, what are you willing to do to keep them safe?
I'm willing to give my life so that this future can never happen.
And if you had to take another life to do that,
I would.
you see the spirits of dozens upon dozens of regiments and soldiers within the core of various creatures being summoned. And at the very front, in the face of all these creatures, you see yourself ready to do whatever you can to keep your home and your family safe. Keldrenith,
Yes.
there is much about your home that is perhaps not the most pleasant to have grown up living in. There are stories you have heard time and time again of this place having been a vast, prosperous kingdom, that there is plateau and plain nearby, that now has a vast expanse of dazzling tundra, unending days of brightness mixed with darkness that never seem to end. And very often, in the areas right outside your home, unspeakable horrors, the after effects of great loss and great pain. And as you are traveling, you see a familiar double double color tinged striated badger along your path.
Hmm. Hello.
Hello.
Come to check on me?
It seemed like an appropriate time to come and check.
Sure. What do you think?
It's a rather difficult situation you found yourself in, isn't it?
You could say that.
I suppose during a time like this, I find myself needing to do the most simple thing for those who have received my blessing, which is to ask, how are you? And what is on your mind?
Um, I've been better, but I've also been worse. I'm just thinking about ways to try to solve this in such a way that everyone involved is content.
What comes to mind as your solution?
Well, see, I haven't really got that far yet. My plan is we get to Rimehold and see what we have to work with. Because I'm hoping that there'll be something there that will give us a clue as to how to peacefully rest all of the souls who Sarah is carrying.
Is that how you see this ending? Peacefully?
Oh, I didn't say I saw anything. It's just you asked me what I was thinking in terms of solutions. So ideally, but not necessarily realistically. Would be
Realistically,
nice.
realistically, what do you imagine happening?
Oh, I mean, given our luck, we tried to end this nicely. The spirits become very bothered, very agitated. They don't really have a lot of ways of expressing themselves. They all, I don't know, get angry or attack or try to escape, and I don't know, horrors swallow the world. What do you think? Would rather, again, gonna do my best so that that doesn't happen, but if you really want to talk worst case scenario, then that sounds pretty bad.
And with that as a possibility, where do you see yourself in the midst of all this?
Doing my best, trying at least not to make things worse. I don't know. I mean, more importantly, where do you see yourself in all the midst of everything?
I am here, as I have always been, to support those who will face the brunt of what comes and to prevent it from happening. For those who receive my blessing, I empower them to look for a means that will stop the horrors that people have had to deal with in their life from resurfacing.
Much appreciated.
But I must ask, how far are you willing to go to stop this?
I mean, this has been something I've always wanted to do, I suppose, because, you know how it is in Rimehold. Like, I don't think, most of us who live here haven't really known anything different. And I do think this could be, you know, a good place to live one day.
What would it take for that to happen?
Well, we'd have to get the horrors to stop. Um, I don't know how much this is related to our current matter, but if this goes well, then maybe we could take a similar approach to the rest of it.
Do you think that all of this could be solved and dealt with one day? And you see, she's taken her familiar human form, the one with the prosthetic arm, slightly scarred face, very sort of clearly in pain, but handling it to a level of ubiquity that feels like she's been doing this for a long time. And you watch again, very similar to Wea, being around Sarah is an exposure to some of the worst memories. And you see the familiar landscape of the Rimehold you knew replaced with scenes of war. You see the bodies of people fighting for different causes of their respective empires and kingdoms. You see good friends, maybe even partners on the battlefield, die. You see trebuchets fired, you see catapults launched, you see the walls break. And you watch as the scene moves to the present day where it's almost as if nothing has changed. You watch as the horrors that have existed outside of your home change. You now see soldiers come alive again. You see people who, in the midst of conflict with one another, don't even seem like they want to fight, just continuing on the same thing again and again and again. And you see at the center of it a mass of ethereal automata creatures, with Sarah creating all of them. And your deity, Atasa, beckoning Atasa, looks to you. Do you think all of this can be made better?
Eventually, yes, I do.
And if what remains of war and of empire's reach, of its influence on the world, threatens to come back, what are you, Celadrenus, willing to do to stop it?
I'm willing to build another way.
And if you are faced with no other choice, would you be willing to harm, to hurt, to kill?
Well, probably. It's not going to be my objective to kill anybody, but if it happens, then, I'm not going to go into this as just another soldier in this war,
There is a very slight smile that appears on Atasa's face. I was right to believe in you, Celadrenus.
But in answer to your earlier question, about sacrifice and, how far I'm willing to go, I would quite like to be around to see what becomes of it.
You have a bit more sense than some people who I have taken the chance to give my blessing to. I have had the experience of meeting with people who receive power, they receive the means to change things, and yet they do not imagine a future in which they are there to survive it.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, as many people as can be would be around, because I don't really believe that the more you sacrifice, the better your intentions or the more correct you are. I think I deserve to be here for that. And I think so does everyone.
You watch the scene change, and as some of the familiar walls of Rimehold appear to be falling down, to be crashing around you, you also see an image of yourself there as well. Almost like ushering people in a direction to get them safe, and that amidst this conflict you are trying to find another option, something that does not just continue the cycle of violence. There are moments where you see yourself having to fight, and perhaps even this fighting will have to lead to an unwanted confrontation with Sarah. But you have your deity's blessing.
Yeah, I think if she's still there, I think I'll just say, look, ultimately, I think we need to reach an understanding. And if it turns out that the language of violence is the only one that is spoken, then, well, I suppose we'll need to talk. But it's not going to be my first choice, and it's never been my first choice.
I wish you luck, Caladrineth. These are not easy paths you try and walk.
Thank you.
But trying to make a better future has never been a simple matter, nor an easy one.
Oh, I'm aware. Well, I mean, if it was simple or easy, we'd have it by now, wouldn't we?
And she smiles and she walks with you for a time, and it's just a complete, almost like blur or indistinguishable, like the space next to you where you feel her walking. She seems to use a mobility device every now and then to help aid her walking. And
Oh,
after
yeah,
a
I'll
bit of
offer her my
time,
hand if she wants it.
she shakes her head. She likes walking with her cane. It gives
Okay.
her a sense of, it gives her a, if you could imagine a god having their own sense of normality, she seems to have it when walking with her mobility aid. But she just reaches a point where you turn to look at the space for where she was at, and she's gone. Almost as that you never heard her move or disappear or anything. She's just gone.
Yeah. I mean, it's her nature. Good to know she's rooting for me. She didn't tell me what to do, but they never do they?
You do hear a voice speak in your head. I'm not supposed to tell you what to do, dear. I'm just supposed to help you find the path over there and make sure you know that you want to walk it for the right reasons. There is much about the path that you all walk that will be murky and difficult. There are landscapes you must pass by that remind you of the complexity of not only just the situation that you're in, but of the creatures and the home, this continent that you have all lived in. Adestia. You see across the landscape, across the sky, with the path that you walk upon, many things flying throughout the air. It's strange for someone who's more accustomed to the forest. The air has also become almost, the sky has almost become like a second home for you in some ways. You see far off in the distance with your keen sight that many others do not in your party do not have. You see vultures, you see condor-like creatures, you even see a swarm of creatures that you swear are very similar to the same daemons that you encountered when you went to the Rose Palace to receive her blessing, to receive of the Queen of Miracles' touch and love. And there is a moment where, for the entire group, as you're walking, you all hear a loud roar above your heads. This bit of it, all of you hear. You see roughly 30, 35, 45 feet in length, a scaled, massive, leathery winged creature, body covered in crystal with shades of blue and purple. A sight that is extremely uncommon in Amalta. A dragon. And it is right around this moment where I assume you're riding on top of Ransor,
Always.
that you hear a familiar voice say, "That is so pretty. I haven't even heard of a dragon being around here in so long."
Do a quick check. The others also hear that?
None of them seem to notice the voice.
All right,
No,
I'm gonna.
but we can hear the dragon though, you said.
You can hear the dragon. Everyone heard the dragon, but the voice commenting on it, only Adestia hears.
Okay.
I'm gonna think in my head and reply. Good omen or bad omen?
It's an omen. Not really good or bad. Sometimes most dragons aren't really that interested in well, getting involved in anything. They're simply another aspect of the world. Very
Very
beautiful one,
helpful.
I must say. But that's not the reason that I am here. And you see the very familiar, again, like beautiful brown skin dotted with moss vitiligo form of your Daelith, of your deity Tamiris.
Without even checking in with the rest of the group, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna kick Ransor into a following.
Into following the dragon,
Following
Tamiris.
roll. Mother dear.
Sorry, could you say that one more time? I think you cut out a little bit for us.
Oh, into following Tamiris.
Ah,
Familiar dear?
Tamiris. Yes, you're. I have you back. Uh, Tamiris simply just walks along the land a bit ahead of the group, sort of keeping. Strange Rensor walks at like a fairly decent pace, and she seems, despite her at times kind of lithe form, walking quite easily and keeping up with you. In fact, it almost seems to start outpacing Ransor at some points, and Ransor has to like pick up the pace a little bit.
So how are things back at the palace? I imagine you're expecting an unpleasant guest at some point.
Yes, I am aware of something making its way over. I'm certain that it will have much to deal with all of the other flying creatures being nearby and a lot of the daemons as well.
Finally, good for something, I guess.
Most things in this world are usually have their purpose one way or another, even if it's a very annoying one.
Always true. Well, I'm glad. I tried to stop it coming by, but I am one person, and it is very, very big.
It is. But I sense in even the short time that I have been accompanying you, that you have always been that type of person, that regardless of the size and nature of the threat that faces you, you and all of your small and mighty nature are willing to fight whatever you can to make things better.
Maybe not always, but fight, sure.
I suppose I'm partially here to ask, mainly because no one else seems to have asked it, what is on your mind?
Suppose it's this giant raven that's going in, it's all of these things. So many cataclysms, and I'm expected to just walk and play nice the entire time.
What do you wish you could do?
It would be a lot easier if I could just, use some arrows and it would all be done, but I mean, that's what I would like to do, but I am not famous for wisdom and I am outvoted.
Do you think you need to be the wisest to have an opinion that's right here?
No, but it is what it is. And I suppose, well, using a bow is not really something that you can undo. But then I worry playing diplomat is also something that cannot easily be undone.
What do you mean?
We've seen multiple of these that this Sarah is sending home. We've seen it out in the city, and we've seen it in the forests, and we've seen it in the and time is short. And every day, hour, minute that we wait traveling to Rimehold for a more peaceful solution is another minute that perhaps a volcano sweeps everything into the sea, or something uproots all of the forests that we have, or the seas overtake all of our ports and swallow everything. And I, I worry that the longer we take, the less time we have to stop any of that.
If it came to it, and you were outvoted, but felt that your path was right, what would you be willing to do?
If I have to fight Sarah by myself, I will. I mean, I've already tried.
If there was a peaceful method of solving this that you overlooked in favor of this course of action that you would prefer to take, would you be willing to live with those consequences?
I mean, I already am. Remember when I told you? Remember when you said, what was it? Way back when we first met? About, I said something about needing miracles, and maybe you do need a miracle so you don't repeat the same mistake over and over and over again, or a miracle so that it doesn't, one day, doesn't feel like the right choice.
You watch as, moving through the landscape, it changes back to your familiar home, to the forest, to the boreal region you've been in, but instead you see whole trees being felled by more of these automata creatures. You see massive, shadowy automata bear-like beings and mountain lions being summoned out of Sarah. And you see her at the center of this, lost in a moment of grief and being unable to control all of these creatures, all of these beings that she is summoning. There is a moment of vulnerability, and you have the arrow knocked on your bow. You have a shot. And you hear Tamiris ask you, Would you be willing to do this, even if it meant someone aggrieved and in pain could no longer find peace, but it made everything else safe?
I draw back real slow. Anything happen?
Tamiris is just looking at you. She's just
Should be
asking you
here.
the question. She's just with you.
All right. I get a sense that this is not like real-time reality, right?
I think you have a guess that that is the case.
All right. Just to see. I have it knocked and pulled back,
Mm-hmm.
and I let go.
She... It's a very bittersweet smile crosses her face. Dear, in the time that I've known you, I've always wondered, do you know what it means to love? Do you know what such things for me to be referred to by such, do you know what that means in being a goddess of love?
I do know it's not as easy as everybody makes it sound.
No, it is not.
Not always gentle either.
No. And though I am often referred to as having a gentle touch, though I am soft, let that never be mistaken for being unwilling to be firm when necessary. You walk a difficult path, my dear. And though I have not been present with you very often or for very long, I hope you know that you do have my love and my support. I believe in you fully and truly, even though I am not fond of the path that you must walk. I know that it is the nature of what you do and what this world asks of you.
Well, let's hope I'm wrong. Wouldn't be the first time.
I hope so as well. But whatever you choose to do, I am with you, dear. You know that I am your biggest supporter and your biggest fan throughout all of this.
Stay well. Be vigilant.
And you watch as it's almost like whole aspects of the environment just have a brighter sort of tint to them. Any flowers you pass by are more lovely. The path you walk upon seems a little bit more defined and not as rough. And the dragon flying overhead passes by. No trouble for all of you. It is just the nature of this world that creates very beautiful things, even while also, unfortunately, having some very terrible things within it. But however unwise or what have you you may at times find yourself to be, there is something that people could never accuse you of being that is lacking in conviction. You are resolute and unwavering in that. And in many ways, that is also an embodiment of love and of being of Tamiris's followers. Love is the willingness to stand by the things that you care about, even if it requires difficult choices. Azura, You sense that the path heading towards Rimehold is ending soon. But it is not of a place of horrors or tundra that your thoughts drift towards. It is to the sea, for you're in many ways born of it, molded by it, made better by it. The ship that you captain, the people who stand by you, the affection you have for your closest friend on it. You find yourself thinking of all of these things as you are traveling. And as you're cresting over some of the last hills that you know will still be maybe 1 or 2 more days worth of travel to get over to Rimehold, based off of what Kelladrenith and Sarah's sort of movement suggest. You think back to the islands, towards the whirlpool, where you confronted your deity in a moment of anger and confusion and what you thought was loss. And you see, it's almost as though passing by there are still some trees dotting the landscape. A few of them, their branches seem to hang over one another like an archway. As you pass through this archway, you now have a new individual walking right alongside you. Face and hair seemingly a delicate lace of lichen and barnacles, curls with coral dotting it. And their whole skin and body beautiful, robust, and seemingly having patterns of green granite covering it. You see Augustine has joined you.
You again?
You don't have to be so upset with seeing me.
Suppose I don't have to.
And yet you are.
Just don't bring happy, warm memories with you.
What do I bring when you think of me then?
Vomit. So much puking. I've drowned. You know that feeling when you're drowning and you recover and you're coughing up seawater and bile? That's it.
So tumultuous moments then.
Suppose you could say that.
It seems as though you found yourself in another one of such moments with your companions. Or rather, one companion.
Fortunately, people are born with free will.
True. But what are you willing to do with yours?
With my will,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully good and just.
And are such things so simple for you to figure out and decide?
Oh God, no. Nothing is so simple. Even when you're so sure, there's always a little bit of doubt that creeps in.
And even with doubt, do you still feel you could act?
Sometimes you don't have the choice but to act. It's either act or nothing, and I've seen what nothing can do.
Then what will you do in this situation? They seem to gesture, their eyes seem to dart in the direction of your other traveling companion of Sarah. And again, you, like everyone else, has felt that unpleasant feeling of being around her. That it is, though perhaps even for your case, it is more so because of this entire party you seem to feel the most. You see yourself out at sea on your ship. Your companions are not there. You see the whirlpool that is near the Altar Islands. It has grown bigger. And you know, you're not certain how, but you know that this is not Augustine's will. That it's become almost like a ravenous beast expanding. And at the center of it, you see Sarah calling forth what appears to be massive serpentine-like creatures and kraken-like monsters. And what would you do here if this was your reality?
Suppose it depends. They can't help that we've invaded where they live, but that doesn't mean that my crew deserves to die because we've made this mistake. You
Their voice cuts you off, and you see your crew is in danger on the ship. Some of them look as though they're barely holding on to the outsides. What do you do?
suppose you fight. It's
So
not
what
fair
do you
for your
do?
crew to go through this. I suppose you attack. Only if only if you can't navigate away.
Your crew's lives are at risk. One has fallen over in the midst of you thinking of this. What do you do?
I mean, if we are not able to navigate away, you fight the creatures.
As you say that, you see people attend to cannons and begin to fire at some of the creatures. So you fight. And if you find that there is no other option but to strike her down, what do you do?
Sarah?
Yes?
Then she dies. The lives of many innocent are not worth the life of one.
You see in the center of the whirl, it is as though something has horribly harmed and maimed Sarah. You see her in pain, lashing out and crying out why no one will let her see Celis. What is your response?
I feel sorry for her pain. but it doesn't justify hurting others.
Would you be willing to do this, to make these decisions quickly, if you had no time and if the situation changed so fast and without any sign or warning? Could you do this?
It's just like being on a ship, right? It's a split second can make all the difference, and your crew is counting on you to be able to make those choices that quickly. Your instincts will take you in the right direction.
They walk closer to you, and there's a change in their expression. Most of it has been very serious and grave. But there's an almost a look that you don't quite recognize. The closest you could get to really describing it is maybe sympathy or earnestness. Tell me, how would you feel if you had to make that decision? Not the morality of it. Just how would you feel?
In the moment, nothing. After is the problem. After is always the problem.
Why do you say this?
Because in the moment, you can only do what instinctively is best or right based on the experience that you have or the things that you've learned. But afterwards, when you have time to consider other actions, it's possible that maybe, just maybe, there was something else in your arsenal that didn't come to mind in that moment. And that's when the worry starts.
Are you afraid you won't make the right decision?
Every second of my life. But that can't prevent you from making a decision. You still have to choose. I find it best just to let my body carry me and trust that it knows what's the best.
You see, the scenario flashes back to that same situation, but this time you know your crew is safe. You know that you can navigate out, but you also know that Sarah is still at the heart of the whirl, risking a great danger to your home and everything else around it. And in this moment, where you did have a chance to think, to act, what would you do?
You warn the people. If there's time, the wonderful thing about people is we all have some sort of skill or magic within us that makes it so that we can help in any situation. And my crew, as talented and skillful as they are, it's so much better when we can have other people's skills added to them as well. I feel as though if we had an entire town's worth of people to help put this plan in place, whatever we decide collectively, we would protect each other.
And in the face of either of these decisions, both equally possible, could you live with yourself if you had to do either of them?
I mean, I have so far. Suppose nothing nothing can change that yet.
I hope you know that the past that I try and show you, the possibilities that exist, they're not because I wish to be cruel. They're simply that they are a way the world could go. The world is never so simple as to stay one way for very long. Are you willing to face the oncoming tide, the change in them, and stand strong with the decisions you make?
Suppose that's why they've made me a captain.
I wish you well, dear. I do not think there is an easy answer to what you will have to do soon, but I will be with you.
Just so you know, it's more of just seawater this time. The vomit's always there.
I am aware. And they walk with you. It's so strange that it's, in one sense, there is the awe that comes with like being in the presence literally of a deity, or at least an aspect of them. But there's also the kind of absurd nature that comes with realizing that like Augustine is referred to by some as the god of beauty. So it's the equivalent of having like a runway model just casually walking with you the entire time. You're like, how did I get here? Like there's probably at least one moment in your mind where you're like, how? What is this?
We're actually not walking, we're strutting.
Strut, 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 and pose, and pose.
Really? That's how we're walking.
And there's, it is strange to think that like the beauty of the day itself is matched only by their presence, but eventually as you walk and you sort of breathe in, it's not quite your air. It doesn't have that same sort of salty sea breeze element to it. But as you breathe in air one more time, you look and they're gone. And you all find yourselves on the outskirts of Rimehold. I would say, Celadrinith, you know that in walking this path, that if you keep going during the night right now, because you're seeing that it's about to be sundown very soon, you know the dangers that exist there are quite vast. There's an entire section right outside of Rimehold that requires that would require you to get past a lot of unpleasant things.
Yeah. Yeah, so I assume that our options are either kind of try to get into the city proper or make camp far enough away outside.
Yep.
Yeah. And also, hopefully, we won't get seen by patrols because, yeah. But yeah, we can either go in or we can stay out here.
What's the likelihood that we will be attacked out here? I guess.
Yes.
And if it's
Yes.
is it more or less likely than being in the city? Because I know you said the city's kind of a shithole.
Yeah, it is. Like, well, you know, it has its charms.
Yeah, but like it's also really unsafe.
Yeah, no, it's not very safe.
Is it more or less unsafe than being out here?
They're unsafe in different ways. It depends on whether on like I guess what you'd get like to get attacked by.
Okay.
Charming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you rather be attacked by a horror or by a patrol?
But
Horror.
Granted the dungeons that they'll put you in afterwards are very escapable.
if
Do you know this
you're
from
in my
personal experience?
cell, I'm
Yep.
okay. I'll feel better about this.
That is a new experience, though, so.
Yeah, I mean if you want to.
Can we definitively get in the same cell so that you're in the same cell as us so you can get it?
No, but I could break all of you out.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I'd rather not be attacked by horrors
Yeah, okay, let's go
out.
inside.
So,
The
Yeah.
inside of a cell sounds very safe, actually.
in comparison, yeah.
Comparatively,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. The
Comparatively,
horrors that we've
yes.
already faced, I don't want to do that again.
Okay, you know what? Fair enough. All
Nothing's
right.
as scary as the horrors in here.
You're
As you
yeah.
as you are making your way into the city, night begins to fall,
Yeah, let's go quickly.
Yeah.
and
But you know, welcome
a
to my home.
I will say a few of you catch out of the corner of your eye a strange creature just kind of lurking on the outskirts of the wall. It would be humanoid if it weren't for the fact that there are multiple masks covering its entire body. Like, think it's like a mixture of. Sorry, I got distracted by the chat saying always sunny theme music. The Rangers get captured on purpose. God damn it! Like, oh my god.
I mean, that actually wouldn't be a terrible strategy. It's just
It
it would get in. I mean, it would keep us safe from the horrors. It's just that it would slow down our plan. And also,
Yeah.
I feel like we would lose track of Sarah if we did that. So
Yeah.
That's true.
But
The
you
one where the
see-
Rangers go to jail.
yeah,
But this creature just seems to be like trailing along the edges of the wall, and it's like a mixture of like death masks, things styled to be like kind of like kabuki masks. Like there's different expressions on each of the different masks covering the body, but the thing just seems to be like slinking its way along and against the wall.
Can I see what Sarah thinks of it? Or at least just try to get a reading on Sarah's part. If I point it out.
If you point it out, Sarah will simply speak and say, "That is called the visage. It is a horror that wishes to beckon those who can be fooled easily with charm and deception into its grasp before it chokes the life out of them."
have I met this one before?
This is a very rare one. This is like urban legend levels of like appearing. It is
Okay.
not the stories around it are allegedly like, to put it simply, if you have ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, we're at like the face stealer
Yeah, that's what I was
levels of
thinking.
unpleasantness.
Okay,
I was
Like
thinking.
every
I'm
single
gonna
one of those masks was probably a human face before it changed into that mask.
Yeah, absolutely.
okay, but I've heard of it, and I'm just gonna be like, oh, I've never seen that one before. Huh?
Yeah,
Interesting.
and
Unsettling.
yes,
I-
it's extremely unpleasant creature.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
avoid that one.
I
We
would
should
like to
avoid.
have a follow-up question with
Mhm.
Sarah. Sarah, how did you know that?
That's a good question.
Maybe,
I'm not
Maybe-
sure.
Sarah, maybe we should go to sleep. Get your neck all correct and right and go to sleep. But
I know an excellent chiropractor.
yeah.
Okay.
You're also not wrong, Amber. They are kind of like yokai. Horrors in the system are kind of like a form of yokai. They're
I just
also
had this
kind of
moment where I was like,
cryptids.
Hmm.
Which my
So,
favorite
like,
thing
if
about people making stories in the world is that you have a lot of terms that kind of, depending on how you look at it, can be analogous. Like obviously a fae is different than a cryptid, but depending on how fucked up the fae is, it might as well be a cryptid.
Sort of
so
travels into that
okay,
territory, yes.
so it's like if Mothman stole faces.
Yes, actually, that's my favorite description I heard in ages. Mothman stealing faces.
Okay.
Yep. It's Here's the thing, Wea, when you ask Sarah that, Sarah didn't seem fully like there. Like her expression seemed pretty much on the border of dissociation. And then when you ask her that, she seems even more like distant. And there's a moment where it almost seems like her body doesn't quite know which direction to go. Like she seems to be, it's like if you put somebody like a robot on autopilot and it just starts moving somewhere, even if its face seems like
Mm.
it's lost in thought about something else. It looks as though Sarah is starting to walk towards the creature.
Oh.
Can I try and maneuver Ransor between Sarah and the creature,
You
preferably
can.
without touching her?
You can. She seems to awaken. It's like, I don't know. No, I don't know what that was. Perhaps I will ask Celis when I see her if there is something wrong with some of my functioning. The collective just grimace everyone in the party does whenever I mention
And then I
her
started
is
laughing because
great.
I saw Sebastian's face be like,
Everyone's just like, who's gonna tell her? I don't want to be the one to say it, but somebody has to.
Yeah, and I think the longer we don't tell it, then like the worse it's gonna be, but also it's gonna be bad anyway, so
well, if we're in a city, then it's more likely she attacks, not us. So
it's true, but look, Reinhold is look,
But
I mean, come on, like do you have any idea like how much work it took to get it to this state? And like as I gesture, like, I don't know, like a tower crumbles or something, and it's just like,
yeah.
somebody sneezes, half the city's
yeah,
gone. Yeah.
like a tumbleweed, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I'm just like, look, we've had to work so hard to get it to this stage. Like, I would rather no attack, but we'll see.
yeah. And it's not, it's it's not the people in this city's responsibility to deal with her
This.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole
situation.
situation, but it is everybody's responsibility to try and, make the town somewhat habitable. And, people manage. You'd be surprised how many people live here.
Mm. I think we need to tell her, but we need to do it in a way where we control the environment as much as possible. And
Yeah.
I think with the fragility of Reinhold, from what you say, Keldronith, this is not the place to do it.
I mean, I can do that now.
Yeah, you can. You're very good at that.
Twice. Yeah. I can do that twice without using
Yeah.
up all my blur. So,
Yeah. There are not many trees in this place.
okay. Just so you know, like when I do those kinds of things, it doesn't matter where I am.
Okay.
It's like I would become that tumbleweed, if that makes sense.
Oh.
You
I
know?
mean,
I
like
would
the same
become
way
a
that you became.
crumbling building in my body and not just in my mind, you know?
I can't say that I do, but I appreciate it. And
I just want to note how fucking hilarious and how much it sounds like a fucking new age mantra to have someone go, "You must become the tumbleweed," in your mind.
you must become the crumbling
Yeah.
tower. Okay.
Be
Manifest
across
it.
the ground
You
after
must
we're
be
done.
one with the tower. You must become
Yeah.
the tower. Be the tower. Be
Also, I
lost
could just
in the
put
tower.
trees here. Like, what are
Okay,
we
I mean,
talking
honestly,
about?
I think that trees would be a great improvement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
say the word. I got you.
I'm just gonna
For a
sort
bit
of
of
gesture to like,
reconstructuring.
yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna like gesture to one of the very large cracks in the ground and be like, I don't know, that's space.
We should be just willy-nilly introducing new species to it.
Look, listen, it's not to say we didn't
New
have trees. We
species?
used to
I've met
have
it before.
We used to have trees, but then, war occurred.
Fire initiated and attacked. Yeah, it's
Yeah, there's some
War.
yeah.
Like you mentioned the word war, and it's
Yeah.
like her head twitches, Sarah.
she's like,
Oh.
hmm?
Yeah.
I
Like
love
her-
war.
Why are you doing cat ears?
Oh, she was a dog. A dog
no,
person.
this is
Oh, a
like
dog.
I'm
I'm
just
just
gonna be
like,
like, oh no, this better not be some horrible Winter Soldier situation and it kind of activates the murder bot. I really don't
I-
want this. Like,
I
Said the
mean-
keyword.
yeah.
That's rough. But
8867 Yoshev Pravnica. It's like,
Freight
oh shit, they're
train.
freight
Fuck.
train.
Yeah.
I will say though, like you mention it, and she is like she is mildly twitchy, and it's as though you see the shroud appearing on her body in response to
Mm.
that. Like,
Okay. Okay.
And
Oh
does this
dear.
feel like a positive, a negative, or a neutral reaction from her?
she didn't seem to generate it throughout the entire process of the entire scope of your journey together of traveling. Like, it was what you all felt around her just seemed to be just a natural aura, but she didn't seem to summon out anything. But the moment that like she's here being reminded of war, even in a small capacity, it's like her body like doesn't quite know how
Oh
to
dear.
process this
But it's
because
okay.
it
There's no
hasn't.
yeah. It's okay. There's currently peace at the moment. Let's see if that does anything.
The creature is moving closer, by the way.
yeah,
Crap.
I was
Yeah.
about to
Oh.
ask the group.
Yes.
So if we're dealing with the vestige, right? That's what you called it?
Visage,
Visage, sorry. Um,
term for face.
if this is the visage, then isn't Sarah and it very similar? Because
Oh,
it has the
because it has all the
faces
souls
and
in it.
souls of others. So they could fight to the death.
Oh, that is not where I thought this was going.
Yeah, that is not where I thought that sentence was gonna end up.
Okay,
Where was
I'm
everyone
willing
else
to
going?
no. I'm willing to hear you out. Fight to the death, and then what?
And
I
then
heard
whoever
Godzilla versus
survives-
Mothra.
Whoever survives obviously absorbs the other's souls, or we can intercept them.
Ooh,
Okay.
what if but
Um,
pre-absorption, can we release them?
Yeah.
Like when they're in the ether between.
Alessia? You seem
Adestia is
perplexed.
currently Adestia is very much knock an arrow, ask questions later person, but this is a very
What?
strange situation in which she's like, this sounds like a terrible idea to her.
yes, so I'm just concerned about the
Yeah,
setting the
she's
souls
just-
to rest portion of the event. When at what moment does that occur in this proposed idea?
Once one of them dies. Because the souls have to go somewhere, or they can be laid to rest.
Or they could all be
We're-
released at the
I
same
feel
time and
like-
unleash like 50,000
Yeah, I feel like we're making
automata
a lot of
horrors.
assumptions here about how it works.
Yes, 100%. But we don't know anything until we try.
Your GM
Is
loves when all
there-
of you make assumptions about how things work.
Okay, I'm just the 40,000 automata horrors that could just be released upon
Isn't
the
it
release of
70?
these souls. Or, yeah, 70,000.
Does after a certain point does the difference between 40 and
40,000,
70,000 matter
really
that
matter?
much? though?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
What
could be
if-
one per
okay,
person or one for every two people in town, you know?
Quick question, what is the visage doing right now? Coming
still
closer.
standing
It's
there.
it's
No, it's
creeping
getting closer
towards
to
us.
us.
It's
The
getting
visage
That's the other
closer.
reason
is
why I
moving
want
along
Sarah
the
to have some
wall,
fun.
which you are all near. It's just
Yeah.
getting closer.
It's
like
okay.
You stopped Sarah from getting in the way of this thing.
I
and
just
going
wanted to
after it.
check whether it stopped or not, or if it's still
Okay.
Oh no,
coming.
no, no! The visage
Uh,
is just.
I
It's not.
think-
It's just wandering. This.
Okay, but like it doesn't look like it's seen us, right? Because I could try and do some
Not
shadow magic or
yet.
some shit. Okay,
Not
maybe like
yet.
disguise us. I don't know.
The
Hide.
The answer
just
is
want it-
yet.
Okay. Uh, do we have terrain notes for this area, Angela?
I would say you would know what the terrain notes are.
Yeah, I live here. I
Because
know the
you live
vibe.
here and you've been here. For today, forecast for today's terrain notes puts in at. You have flickering,
Ooh.
dusty,
Yeah.
and window.
Window?
Window.
So does
The
Reinhold
wall.
have a it has a wall that's like
Yep, it's a big ass like
a s-
fortress wall
a
situation.
stopping point between okay.
Like there's
Like it's a walled
section-
city.
It's
Okay.
basically a walled city. Like there's sections of it that are cracked and not doing so well because it's clear that it went through literal war for a long time. But that is here. That exists.
I would
Because I have an
So-
idea, but go ahead.
I also have an idea. Let's discuss.
Let's discuss.
So if Dusty is one of our terrain notes, I have a spell note wind. And
Okay.
so if we could conjure up a dust storm or a sandstorm or something that would prevent it from knowing which direction it needs to go, we could at least either
Mm.
prevent it from coming this way for a bit or confuse it to where it doesn't continue to follow us.
I do
Yeah,
have the
I
spell
like
note
this.
shifting.
We could do a chord or something and all do a pitch in and save us
Yeah.
from this thing.
Do we understand how it perceives things?
The visage.
Yes.
You have
Good question.
that.
I got
would
no
require
fucking
a
idea.
roll. That would require a roll from any one of you to try and see if you can understand how the fuck this thing works. Because
I do have
it-
spirits. I know other people do as well.
Yeah, so do
Yeah,
I.
I got spirits. I got tactics.
You
I mean,
do?
I've got.
and I
I mean,
have spirit.
okay, I've got a question. So it has masks. Does that count as like fashion?
Yes and no.
The masks are really
no, in
fashionable.
the sense that, like, practically, I don't think it should give you anything. Yes, and that I'm here for it because I think this is such a bullshit. this is such a
Maybe in some
bullshit
other
approach.
context.
Yeah.
Maybe in another context.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, maybe it just wants to talk, and I don't know, maybe it just wants compliments on like the mask that it picked today. Like, I could do that.
I
Oh my
mean-
god, I switched them out specifically for today. Thank you for noticing.
Right.
I mean, you haven't tried talking to it yet, so you don't know what its mindset is.
No. Anyway, sorry, Adestia, you can roll for that if you want, because you're the one that asked the question.
Yeah.
Sure. I assume this is an understanding roll.
This is probably going to be understanding.
How much do we
Um,
understand the face
I-
person?
Do also have a spirits because I picked that up, having learned a lot about them on this journey.
Yep.
So that's
All right.
3, 4, 5 because we're in season 2.
Excellent. And then if you feel anything with your key that is relevant at this time,
No. I have a 5 and a 6, so it's 2 successes.
Nice.
2 successes. I would say what you get a sense from is that there's a look of hunger on this thing's face.
Oh, do we know what
well,
it eats?
several of the
Souls?
face.
Okay.
I
Like
don't know.
several of them
Souls.
have a look of. Several of them have the look that several gifs have of when someone does the waggle eyebrow emotes, but the rest of them seem to indicate that the connotation of that is actually about hunger, like because several of them look like they have their mouths open and as though the masks are showing teeth, which makes no fucking sense why a mask has teeth like this, but they all, and also to be clear, they're not all human teeth. The masks, a lot of them are human shaped, but not all of the teeth are human.
I was thinking fangs, so that, I mean, goes along with what I was imagining, which is
Okay.
frightening. Um,
And
That's-
can I
It's kind of
Can I-
exciting.
Yeah, it's true. Can I tell based on the way it's moving or like moving along the wall? Like, does it like see visually or is it sensing the path through some other
It seems
means?
primarily visual. It does not appear
Okay.
as though it has like some sort of supernatural hearing or preternatural senses.
Yeah,
It
or
seems
it's like
it
doing
just
some sort of
has
sensing.
several eyes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So two things. It does in fact see, so I think making everything dusty would in fact work. I just didn't. It would have sucked if you tried that and it has some extra
It
sensory
has like
perception.
X-ray vision and it's just like, no, we
hearing
can
or
see
like,
like heat
yeah.
signatures or whatever. Okay.
Also, it seems very hungry, so I don't think talking is going to work.
Okay. Yeah, let's try the
Just
dust
personally.
idea and we can all like kind of pitch in for it because think I have I've got a spell note that might work as well.
so
Yeah.
I would
Before
like
you-
to.
Before
Hmm?
you all do that, question.
Yes.
Sarah does come up to you all and does ask, "Are you all bothered by this? Should I get rid of it?"
No, no, no.
Yes.
No, we're great. We're not
Well,
bothered at all. In fact,
question.
we have a plan.
How would you get rid of it?
I think we should just tell her that we're safe because we have a plan. Uh,
What if her plan's better than ours?
My plan was this.
I
so-
appreciate you having faith in me, doubtful one.
Sorry.
Ah, you're welcome.
I believe I could summon something that could consume this, or at least deal with it.
see, just
Maybe
I don't need
not.
more. Yeah, I think we have the right number without the creature. I don't think we need another creature to take care of it. I think we've got this, Sarah, but
I
thank
could
you for
simply
your
call the
offer.
creature back, if that is a problem.
I don't, do we want,
Wait.
I'm trying to like not let Sarah hear. Do we want her to consume this thing? Because if she consumed the soul that consumed this thing, then she would have both of their powers, right? That's what I'm thinking.
look, my knowledge of like the soul ecosystem food chain situation, I don't have a good I don't think I have a good understanding of like, this soul eats that soul and eats this, like I just
Wait, I'd like to ask one question of Sarah.
Yes.
Sarah, is the visage your creature?
No,
Ooh. Oh,
but it seems as though it is bothered, and it seems as though it is having an existence that is either pained or a nuisance to others.
oh,
So
sorry.
I can allow it to be free of its burdens and stay with me instead, and I can fulfill its will instead.
By fulfill its will, you mean would you also inherit its feelings and its pain and its trauma and its unresolved
That
business?
would be correct. How else would you remember people?
Yeah, I just
The good stuff. But
you
I-
know,
I
I think we've got this, Sarah. Do you all agree? I think we've got it covered. I appreciate your help
Fair
in
enough.
this situation, but we do need to make sure that we keep our skills fresh in case something bad were to happen. So we need to continue to practice. Not all of us are beautifully well adept automata.
Well, thank you. Just sort of walks a bit away. I will give you your privacy, since it seems as though you would like to speak about me without me being present. I have been led to believe that this is a rude thing to do, but I do not know if I should come to expect more from people.
maybe
Sort
when
of
we're
walks away.
we're roasted.
when we're
we just
done
got
with
roasted.
this, you
Just
can
is
like
whatever.
come back and we'll talk about it.
I mean, I think that we should actually just can we not just do the dust thing and she can just go in the group and that's fine? Like, Sarah, you're welcome to the dust party.
I don't know why Sarah shouldn't be part of the party during the dust.
Yeah, like I
storm.
thought we were all gonna go together because then we can like hide under the cloud of dust or whatever, and then we just go into the city. Like I thought that was the
She
plan.
just seems like this is a very like
Sarah,
A
hello,
and B
come back.
conversation, and she's just feeling like party D.
No.
She's just feeling like she's party Z. in
I
all
mean,
of
no,
this.
no, Sarah's part of
Sarah,
the
you're
posse.
part of B. You're part of party B.
Okay.
Siri, I'm not
Come
talking to
back.
you.
Can that be our party name? But like party spelled with an I, like Cardi B, but it's Party B.
Why?
You know why not?
ARDI.
Amber.
Party B now canon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Party
Sure,
B.
why not?
No, party B. Anyways, carrying on.
So,
I love
but
you,
party with
Amber.
like a D or party with like a T?
Nah, D.
Okay.
It's got to be a D. It's
Has
like
to,
party.
because it's Cardi
yeah.
B.
Okay, because it's Cardi B.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just as long as
Cardi
we're all
B.
on the same page regarding the spelling of our team name, TM.
Okay. Team name Party B.
Team
Okay.
Just put this on my character sheet.
I can't believe this. Okay.
Carrying on.
Okay, so like the dust thing, I
Yes.
wanted to contribute together, the spell
I
note
would-
together for that.
I would say if you each take a scatter, you could create something that goes
Yeah.
towards whatever you are interested in accomplishing with the dust storm.
Yeah.
So all 4 of us, or
Whoever wants.
That's
I
your
assume.
call, buds.
Whom,
okay.
like whoever wants to contribute to the dust party.
I'd like to.
You want in on the dust, man?
Yeah, this sounds like it does sound kind of sketchy.
It
to put
really
that
does
way.
sound. It really does
Wanna buy
sound
some
like you're all
dust?
like fucking, like passing around a fucking hookah or something. It's just a
Ow.
party.
You need a hit of this dust.
Want to buy some dust?
We'll buy some dust, man.
We are in Reinhold, so I imagine that's what I imagine this is like. It's just a part of the tradition of being here.
Fucking dust.
I mean, there are certain substances in this city that make life more bearable. Yes, like why?
There,
I'd like
there-
to-
I'm just imagining that there is actually a dealer in Rhymehold.
No, I think there is. No, I think there is.
No. Not that there. Not specifically. The thing that's getting me is that there is one. Is that the idea of someone who like has named their product, one of their products, the last war, because it's the last trip you'll ever fucking need, man.
Oh shit.
Okay. Yeah, you know, yeah,
So-
probably. Let me look. Once we get into the city, if any of you wants to try anything, I'm happy to, hook you up or whatever. But just we got to get in first.
Party drugs later. Right now, we
It's not a
need some-
party drug. It's more just look at this place. Like it's
That-
not even a party drug.
That
This is
time
just like
when the party
establishing
got
a.
high in Rhymehold, always sunny music starts playing.
I mean, what else is there to do in Rhymehold other than get eaten by horrors? Like this is.
So it's just like what, like the Midwest, where it's like there's nothing to do out here, so we're all gonna get high.
Amber and I look
Take
at each other.
PCP in a cornfield.
It is. Let's go to the city for
Carrying
the
on.
day.
I've
Look.
caused this tangent. I'm gonna bring
Okay,
us back.
okay,
Before
okay.
Gina is just like, what the fuck
So,
are you
so
all doing?
okay. I reiterate my question: who is getting in on the dust party?
So-
I would like to argue something that I want to bring into the spell.
Okay,
Angela, if
the spell is the
if
dust
you'll-
party.
If you'll hear my bullshittery.
Yes, always.
Silly do. Carry on.
So-
Absolutely.
The spell that I'd like to bring to the table is shifting, and so I would like to have the ability
Ooh.
to shift the dust storm where we need it to be.
Yes.
Shifting
I like
winds,
that.
yes.
No, that makes
So
sense.
shifting winds together plus dust. Adestia, do you want to do anything with the dust party? You don't have to, but you're welcome to.
Party
wait.
B.
Do I have a sense of with the magic we've contributed now? How big is this dust storm gonna be?
Sufficiently
Good
big.
question. Sufficiently big.
It's just
Probably-
vibes.
It's just vibes.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I would say it's enough to cover your entire party.
Just the party?
Just
Including
So
Sarah.
it would
Including
look
Sarah.
like it just looks like a small patch of dust, right?
Like a
Yes.
dust devil
Essentially.
thing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, yeah.
If I were to add sky, would that make it bigger?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Can we play Sandstorm by Darude? Like,
Yeah. Like, could I make this?
Yeah.
I want to contribute sky to try and make this look like a proper like passing dust storm.
yeah.
Not
See, we're
just-
becoming the tumbleweed. We're doing great.
We have
Become the
tumbleweed.
tumbleweed. I just gotta spend blur.
Yeah.
Also, now
trees
that one
here.
of you has said Darude Sandstorm, now I have the fucking Game Grumps version of it in of Aaron Hansen.
What
just
does the
saying
beginning of
it.
Sandstorm go again? Like, sorry, I'm European.
No,
It
you're
has to be.
valid.
Yeah.
reeling
Great.
everybody back in.
What? Where?
So I will summon another horror if you do not
No.
get this train back on track. Damn it.
Okay, so we've got Dusty, Wind,
Shifting
Drift.
together and
shifting
sky.
together, Sky.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
beautiful.
love it. It's a word salad, but don't worry.
No, it's okay.
Words-
We've lived up to the game's
It's a
name. This is a
meal.
heroic chord. It's great.
Oh. I'll
You
take
just
the
start
lowest
hearing
then.
this 80s ending theme plays as you all like raise fists up in the air.
Da-da-da. Yeah.
Don't you forget about me.
Don't
Everyone.
you? That's what I was thinking.
Demonetized, damn it! Demonetized. No, I'm just kidding. I don't care.
Don't-
All right.
There.
Wait, what do I spend for that, by the way?
One scatter each.
One scatter each. Okay.
Yes.
Is this
Okay,
one where
yeah.
we have to roll? We have to roll?
No, I thought we
this
just
is
I thought
rolling.
this just
No, so
happened.
Just rolling?
Magic
Okay.
just
Like
tends to
scatter is the
happen.
cost, right? So
Yes.
Well, I have to
Scatter is
roll
effective.
to be able to shift it properly later.
no.
I will let you decide that, folks. But I will
I
let
think
know,
you
but-
have excellent navigational skills.
But so
Navigation is in my skills.
as you're shifting the dust terrain around and summoning this whole like effective passing dust storm, like
Yeah.
it's almost
Hey,
like
wait, before I do that, can I just like kind of, get out like a face mask so I don't breathe dust? Like I'd like to,
good call.
And I just want to say it looks like badass with my outfit because like it's some old black shit, like, looks cool.
It's what
The
you're
goth
meant
is
to
in their
look like.
environment.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Goth is back home.
Yeah, I'm
It's
just like,
nighttime
great.
in
It's
Rhyme
nighttime,
Hold.
it's
If
cool,
ever-
cold temperature. Hell yeah.
I'm freezing.
The-
Do you still have like the
two
moss
coastal-
mantle? Do you still have like the moss mantle? Just
Oh yeah, your wood.
No, I gave it to the
thing-
kids, and then they started
That's
hitting each
right.
other with
They
it.
hit each other with
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, in which case,
So,
look, we can find you
carrying
something warm
on.
when we get inside.
No good deed goes unpunished.
There is. It's almost like you're looking out. For you, it's clear and perfect, but anyone looking on the inside, it's just a dust cloud, and this creature like reaches the boundaries of it. And there's a moment where, with Sarah, if Sarah is with you,
Yeah,
'cause
she's
you
with
did
us.
choose to include her.
Yes.
Mhm.
She's looking out. You're certain you don't want me to take care of this? Because the thing is almost like it, like it has arms? Question mark.
No, we got it. Look at this lovely dust cloud we're traveling in. We got it. Don't worry. We're good.
But like several of the masks also are changing orientation. Some of them are still looking upright. Some of them have turned like 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 135 degrees. Like you have masks and faces that are of all different like orientations. Like for example, you have bisexual masks, you have straight masks, you have asexual masks, you have
You have mask
pansexuals.
masks.
You have
have
mask
femme
masks. We have
masks.
femme masks. We have butch
Yeah.
dykes. We have a lot of those.
But are the masks like also, yeah, are the
Yeah.
masks also masking because we have autistic masks?
yes.
Like,
Yeah.
Yes.
All the masks
There's
are
Lostin
masking.
masks as
Yeah.
well.
The masking mask.
yes,
Masking mask. That is
Yes.
a statement
As
that only
opposed to
works
the
if we
masking
can-
femme mask.
Yeah.
Yes, the masking femme. Correct. There's the futches who are the femme butches as well, who are among some of the masks.
yeah.
This could keep going, but
This is so like this is just like a pride parade of souls. I'm actually feeling kind of bad. Like it should join us, but like when you put it that way,
It's
Well, and
hungry.
I think
and
so.
what queer is not
so
hungry? Like,
Moralia Azura, right? We can't prove that this horror is evil. It's just in a state of being, not that it can't necessarily help, right? Like I feel like if they are similar to yokai are put in a situation where they can't be put to rest because of a situation they were put in when they died, right? So it can't help that it's a horror. Doesn't necessarily need to be destroyed because of that, especially if we don't have proof that it's harmed anyone. So I think distracting it so it goes away is the best.
yep. I mean, there is a moment where some unfortunate, as you're making your way into Rimehold, there is an unfortunate guard on duty who has made their way to the outside of the wall, and the being you just hear, it sounds like the most lovely voice just comes out of this thing. It's like, Marshall, why don't you come and say hello to us? Why don't you come and say hello? And this guard is just sort of like, me? And just sort of starts walking towards the creature. And then there is a split second between seeing the guard upright and the creature near it. And then the guard just drops to the ground,
Ugh.
and there is no face on the guards.
Missed my window.
No faces on the guard?
It's fine. Wait, what did you want to?
Just stuffing it into its stomach.
It's fine. They'll get replaced tomorrow.
But
It's the patrol.
so
It's still.
at this point, I think we need to just go in.
Yeah.
It's distracted. We need to go in. But is there a place inside of Reinhold where there's like a library or a horror museum or like, some sort of
You want a center of information.
expert? Yes.
But can I confidently say that I know someone? I know a guy,
You
but it doesn't have
probably
to be
know
like
a
a
guy.
guy. Yeah.
You know
Like a-
somebody.
Horror
Okay, yeah,
bounty
I know-
hunter.
Yeah, I know a guy. Let's go in.
And
I can
as
actually
you're-
send a message to said guy because I have the message thing, so I
Mhm.
could do that. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that you would be able to contact an individual who you know her as what can only be described as the most scarred, battle-weary tank of a woman you've ever met,
Okay.
who
What kind of
has the
woman?
name Prometheus, but has never used that name. She has only ever used the name Thea.
Okay. So okay. What do I remember of her? Have we interacted before? We have, we
You've
must have
probably
known.
interacted on a couple of occasions. Most of those occasions, you did not exchange more than a few words. Thea is not a talkative person.
Okay.
Thea is a
yeah.
person of, here are your bullet points for what I need to say to you. If I need to say anything more, I may not grow to like you anymore.
Yeah. Okay. So I can be like, yeah, I know someone. She's very efficient. By which I mean she has very little patience, but she'll get shit done, okay?
Well, we don't have
We have,
much
like-
time.
Yeah.
We have people like
Okay.
that on the ship. I understand.
Yeah, okay, great. Are we inside Rimehold yet?
As you are making your way inside Rimehold, there is a moment where, as you pass through the walls, you look back at Sarah and you see that she's staring off into the distance past the wall. And as night has fully arrived, I would say probably for Caladrinis and a lot of the people who've been denizens of Rimehold, you're pretty used to the horrors being, if not necessarily faceless, but being more monstrous in nature, being more like just esoteric concepts of things that happened.
Mhm.
But as we approach the end of our session, and as we approach moving deeper back into Rimehold, you look back for a moment. I'd say Caladrinith, you're the main one who notices. I think everyone maybe catches a glimpse of this, but Caladrinith, it stands out the most to you because it's different than what you're used to seeing. There are a legion of horrors all across on the outer limits of these sort of plains area that's outside of Rimehold. That's not what stands out to you. What stands out to you is that several groups of them have taken on the appearance of battalions of soldiers
Oh dear.
that all seem to be standing at attention, ready to make war with one another again and again, as they have done for many years before. And you realize that much of the time growing up, you have been living outside of an ongoing battle that has been happening for generations. And that is where we are going to finish the session for today.
We're having such a normal one.
Normal.
Very normal.
Normal.
Yep.
I know
thank
what's
you-
going on.
Thank you, everybody, for being here for the 8th session of our series of Fragments of Loss of War and Empire. Thank you to folks who have been donating. We went from $370 to $410.
Oh,
We're
thank
$90
you.
away from our
Wow.
goal.
Gonna do it.
We've gone from wow to wow levels
Wow.
of donation.
Wow.
So I'm gonna let everyone introduce them, say who they are, and what where we can find them and any other projects they're currently involved in, and then I'll pass it over to Mare to sign us off. So first off, starting with how we started, Gena.
Hi, I'm Gena. I've been playing Adestia. You can find me on Blue Sky at Gena Fan. That is Gena with a fan at the end, like Jonathan. As for where else you can find me, my schedules are wonky, so you will catch me when you catch me.
Fantastic. And next up, Mirm.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mirm. I use she, they pronouns, and today I've been playing Wea, who uses they, them pronouns. It's kind of a light week for me, so it's kind of nice. I have a lot to do. I am going to be in a one shot on Saturday, though, to raise money. I don't remember what we're raising money for, and that's on me. But I'm going to be playing a dwarf fighter in a D&D one shot, and I haven't played D&D in quite a minute, so I've been doing a lot of indie TTRPGs, so I'm excited to swing a big old sword and have a fat ass. So woo.
The fat ass is like the most important part.
It-
I'm
yes,
happy you mentioned that
absolute
detail. Really makes
critical
it.
element of everything.
They're 4'6". They gotta have a fat ass.
Short
The rule.
stack. Go
Yeah.
Amber.
My name is Amber, and I use she, they pronouns, and I've been playing Azura, who also uses she, they pronouns. I just want to remind everyone that July is Disability Pride Month and is also BIPOC Mental Health Month. So pay BIPOC disabled creators money for existing.
Excellent. And last but not least amongst our main cast, Sebastian.
Yep. Hello, I'm Sebastian. I use they, them pronouns. I've been playing Kildrenith, who also uses they, them pronouns. You can find me on Blue Sky at Sebastian UA. I mean, I'm everywhere at Sebastian UA. And I'm a cast member on Roads Uncharted, and we have new episodes dropping every Friday evening. So I play a roguish person who is slightly less of a bastard. So if you would like to see me play less of a bastard, then good show. And if you don't want to see that, then well, just keep watching this show.
Or if you want to see them in multiple places more often, go watch this show and go watch that show, and then bring people from that show to watch this show too.
Yeah, and vice versa. Yeah.
Hello
that.
there, everybody. My name is Angela Mogrovejo Bosch. I use she, they pronouns, and I have been your conductor for this evening and for the series. You can find me on Thursdays playing in a Girl by Moonlight series called Daughters of Io, where my trans egg has just done a whole public coming out thing and maybe sort of had a mental breakdown in her apartment and is now helping their teammates deal with their own shit, one of which is just apparently discovering she's really down bad for a girl to a way that I have never had to use the phrase down horrendous before, but it was the only occasion in recent memory where I have to say it because it's so apt and is the funniest thing ever. If you want to see an amazing cast, go Thursdays, 6 p.m. EST over on Valdrian's channel, 3 p.m. PST. And thank you so much, everyone who's been tuning in, who's been getting folks to raid or support us. And now I'm going to pass it on over to Mare to sign us off.
Hi, it's me, the face behind the curtain. Thank you for joining us tonight. We've wrapped up most of the Pride games where we were raising money for Lambda Legal, but we still got some stuff going on in the channel. Obviously, you already know Fragments of Loss. We're going to be here. I think, is it going to be officially 7 Eastern now from here on out? Or is it just tonight? Or we still figure it out?
For this game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're gonna keep it at this new time, and depending on how quickly folks get through the last bit of any bit of story that I have planned, we might finish on time for the expected sessions, or we might go one or two more than we planned. But
Sweet.
Yeah.
So you can find us here now at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. On Tuesdays, we have our Baldur's Gate Gate Night, our only video game stream on the channel. Horizons Call at 3 p.m. Pacific on Saturdays. This coming Sunday, we have a new game called Blood on the Lens, which is a game that places you squarely in the center of an unfolding horror movie. That is going to be at 10 a.m. Pacific. And the only other thing that we got going on right now is that there is a casting call currently open for a mini series of the Magnus Archives that will be running in August, that I will be running. So go check out the Twitter if you want to apply to that. And we will see everybody next week. We're going to be rating a friend of the channel, Atsu Spirit Bear, and we will have a nice night, everybody. Bye.
be sure to apply for Mayor's Game. They're a really awesome GM. You really should.
Bye.
Bye.